The Young Captain, Rise of Ibrahim Traoré. In the sun-scorched plains of Burkina Faso, where the dust swirls with the whispers of history and struggle, a young captain stood at the edge of the old world, ready to pull his country into a new one. His name was Ibrahim Traoré, born in 1988 in Bondokuy, a quiet village far from the noise of politics and power. As a child, he watched his homeland suffer, poverty gripping the streets, corruption draining the lifeblood from government halls, and terrorists tightening their grip on the northern regions. Soldiers came and went. Leaders made promises. Nothing changed. But Ibrahim was different. Reserved yet sharp, he believed the uniform wasn't just for parades or politics. It was for protection, for purpose. Rising through the army ranks, he became known not for ambition, but for action. Fellow soldiers admired his clarity. Superiors feared his conviction. By 2022, the country had suffered 2 coups in just 8 months. The government was floundering, and the people were losing hope. Towns were abandoned, schools burned, villagers buried their dead in silence, while politicians jetted between conferences. Ibrahim Traoré saw the writing on the wall, not just on a political level, but on a moral one. The state had failed its people, and if no one would fix it, then he would. So, on September 30th, 2022, before the sun rose, Traoré and a small group of officers launched a quiet, decisive operation. There were no tanks rolling through the capital, no blood on the palace floors, just the cold precision of patriots who had decided enough was enough. By mid-morning, the president was gone. The country held its breath. And then came a broadcast, not from a general in a decorated suit, but from a captain with calm eyes and a soldier's bearing. "We have taken our responsibility before history," he said, voice steady. "If the people are abandoned, if the fight is not led with honor, then leadership must change." It wasn't just a speech, it was a call. And people across the nation, old men in cafes, market women, restless youth, heard it like a drumbeat. Traoré didn't move into the presidential palace. He stayed close to the barracks. He didn't declare himself a king. He insisted he remained a captain, refusing medals and the trappings of power. What mattered was restoring sovereignty, dignity, and security. He quickly shifted focus to the front lines. Soldiers were rearmed, civilian militias were trained, corrupt officials were dismissed. And in foreign relations, Traoré took a sledgehammer to the old script. He rejected imposed agendas and turned instead to regional allies in Mali and Niger, forming the Alliance of Sahel States, AES. To his critics, this was rash. To his supporters, it was revolutionary. For decades, West Africa had danced to the tune of distant powers. Now, with Traoré's leadership, the song was changing. He spoke plainly. "We are not anti-West, but we are pro-Burkina. We are not against dialogue, but we are against domination." His youth, once seen as a weakness, became his greatest strength. Where older leaders clung to outdated systems, Traoré moved fast, digitalized state processes, and embraced direct communication with the people. He used WhatsApp groups to coordinate defense. He listened to the youth not as a formality, but as strategy. And yet, challenges remained. The jihadists were still a threat. Economic sanctions loomed. International media painted him with suspicion. But inside Burkina Faso, a different portrait was emerging. One of a young captain who dared to act, dared to lead, and dared to hope. No cult of personality, no golden throne, just dust-covered boots, firm words, and a promise. "We will build a nation that serves its people, not its elites." And in every village where gunfire had once echoed, hope was stirring. This is the rise of Ibrahim Traoré, a captain who stepped into chaos with calm, a leader who chose service over status, and a generation's answer to a broken system. He didn't just take power, he took responsibility.